The directors are pleased to recommend a final dividend of 75 kobo per ordinary share, 50 kobo each for the year ended December 31st, 2023, subject to the deduction of the withholding tax to the shareholders. I hereby move that a final dividend of 75 kobo per ordinary share, 50 kobo for the year ended December 31st, 2023 be declared and paid to all shareholders whose name appeared on the register of members of the company at the close of business on Tuesday, 26 March 2024, subject to the deduction of the appropriate withholding tax.
The issue of attending board. Go out and bring business, so support the management. That's all we can leverage and pay higher dividend. Mr. Chairman, this is a listening board. When we had him win that Oscar is existing, and which existed March, because the report we're considering she belonged to Oscar. Temi Popola, this year ending 2024 will be a scorecard. We shall, approve and appraise how your performance is. But you have started well. We have seen the move you are making already. We cannot rule out that you did not participate in this account. But I know your tenure will be more greater than that, Oscar.
I think, as was said before, this is not the first holding company structure in our country. But of course, we are very aware that not just are we a holding company structure, we are the holding company perhaps because of the important role that the exchange plays. And we take that very, very seriously. Now, what is our strategy? Besides what I would say is the fairly obvious. You have subsidiary companies, you have associate companies. You want to make sure that there's synergy. You want to make sure that strategies are aligned. You want to make sure that each of those pieces are not working in silos and they can think together and work together and create value. I would say that perhaps this is maybe, as I see the future, the lowest of the responsibilities that we have. You can call that a BAU, as it were, but it can be the core of what the holdco is doing. I'll speak to 5 things that the holdco really is looking to do strategically. One is a digital transformation journey. And I want to say that if you take anything from today's AGM, it is the fact that there is a digital journey that this group is trying to run, that the exchange is trying to run, and that the holdco is driving. What do I mean? Back to our subsidiaries, you would find that, for example, when we look at our markets, we talk about listings, delistings, deeper markets. One big gap is technology. Look at the broader financial markets. The broader financial market consumes technology. On this phone right now, you can open an account with any of the new digital banks in 1 minute. You download their app. In 1 minute, you will move money from your traditional bank account to that account and vice versa. I tried it. Why are our capital markets not in this direction? And the way to do that then is we're aware that every one of our subsidiaries, of our associate companies, needs to consume technology somehow. And there is no better entity to drive that than the holding company. So what do I mean? For example, we have a unique opportunity in front of us now with the capital exercises that are coming up, the capital raisings that the central bank has announced. Outside of the financial community as well, there have been many capital raises that have been publicly announced, right issuances, public offers. We want to make sure that for the first time in the history of our market, every single one of those offerings will be digital. And how do we drive that? It means that the operating exchange can speak freely to another associate company, CSCS, for example. It means that those entities can speak to registrars through technology. So without going into too much detail, we will be launching very soon an application that would allow these public offers to be distributed to any Nigerian as long as you have a bank account. So for the first time, you'll sit on your device, log into maybe your bank account, and you'll be able to invest in a public offer with a few button clicks. You'll be able to go to Quick Teller and look in there as you're paying your bill and see that there's an offer that you can invest in. You'll be able to go to any of these digital banks, and as you're doing your business there, be able to invest. You'll be able to come to NGX website, click on a link, and be able to invest. For this journey to happen, the holding company has a digital journey that we're trying to drive, because to drive efficiency and alignment with the subsidiaries, that's where it's best situated. Now, number 2, related to technology. It is very clear to us that the future of this group is technology. Ultimately, this is going to be a very technology-heavy entity, and part of our structure, our strategy then, I think was spoken also, is to create, for example, new subsidiaries. We are looking to have a subsidiary dedicated to technology. Why is this important? When we're building tech products, we want to be able to export those products, for example. We want to be able to think about how to commercialize those products that we are building. We're looking at our exchange. We're saying that there are challenges we face that many other exchanges globally, across Africa in particular, are facing. One example is trading engine. Most exchanges in Africa are paying hardcore dollars for their trading engine. If NGX can solve that problem locally, we can export that across the continent. If we can solve this problem of the primary distribution or the rights distribution I spoke earlier, why can't we take that to Ghana and to Ethiopia and to other exchanges? This is the heart of the second piece of our strategy, which is how do you commercialize technology? How do you build technology solutions that solve problems and that you can commercialize? Number three is what I call inorganic growth. We have a very strong strategy. You cannot be Africa's preferred exchange hub being localized. You must have seen publicly the announcement around the Ethiopia Stock Exchange. This was a very strategic investment for us, where we go into East Africa. One, of course, we help the continent because we're seen as a big brother as far as capital markets are concerned. We help the Ethiopian Stock Exchange as they set up their business. Our regulation business was very helpful. Our core exchange was very helpful. But we've invested in that business because, like I spoke earlier, how do you export technology? How do you export best practices? How do you spread the wings across the continent? So there's a big inorganic growth that we are looking to drive, and of course that then brings you to capital. Part of the holdco's responsibility is capital allocation. How do we make sure that each of our entities, our subsidiaries, our associate companies have the capital that they need, that they're allocating that capital properly, and that we're raising that capital optimally, which of course is one of the items on the agenda this morning around the rights issuance. How do we do our balance sheet restructuring and make sure that that is optimized? Two other things very quickly to the holdco strategy. Partnerships, extremely critical for us. We find that, for example, there's a lot of capital out there available for capital markets that we haven't tapped. Many of the DFIs, right, have capital that we can easily plug into around sustainability, for example, around capital market growth. We expect the holdco to be able to enter into very strong, vibrant, resourceful partnerships that bring value to our entire sort of our chain.